Sport.
Sport?
Sport.
Okay.
Sport, my parents, my friends.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's a good example. So so those are all problems or bridges.
If we suffer all problems, then we get a master degree and my future is very bright.
Yeah, exactly. So those are all, so those are good examples of bridges that you have to cross. Are there any one of those problems that you can't solve now that you just have to wait until the future to solve? Are there any that you just can't worry about right now? Well, I guess because you mentioned different bridges that you have to cross. Some of them you can cross right now or try to solve. Are there any problems that are not solvable right now that you have to wait until you get to that point in order to solve it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And so those would be any of those problems. Those would be ones you would say, well, we'll just have to wait. We'll just have to cross that bridge when we come to it. There's nothing we can do about it right now until we get to that point. It might be a problem that you're worried about that might have to be solved in order to get your master's degree, but it can't, guys, hold on, let me explain, guys, let me explain that real quick, so I'm not talking to everybody. There's problems that you can solve right now to get progress along the way to a master's degree. But there's certain problems that you can't solve right now that you might solve in the future, but until you solve these other problems, you can't get to this last problem. So you might just say, well, we'll cross that bridge, that final bridge, or one of the last bridges when we come to it. Any other examples?
Teacher,
Yeah.
I'm rather confused about this.
Okay.
Maybe there are a lot of problems in the same time right now or in the future or anything.
Okay, so say it again.
You said that many problems to succeed. The problem right now or in the future?
It's the problem in the future.
In the future.
Yeah. Because there's problems that I have to deal with right now. And so I can't say for that problem that I have to deal with right now, that that's a bridge I'll just have to cross when I come to it, because it's a bridge that I have to cross now. For those other problems that are in the future that I can't solve right now, but for example, say there's a person that comes up to me and says, how are we going to solve that problem? And that problem he's talking about is way out in the future. I can't solve that problem right now because I have all these current problems to solve. I might tell him, well, we'll cross that future bridge when we get to it. But until we get to it, there's all these problems that are right now.
When that will solve this problem and then
Yes.
then it can solve this problem.
Yeah. So
Like
that
this.
guy, you do understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so that guy who was talking to me is talking about this problem, but I'm right here. So I have to solve these problems first. So I'll tell him, we'll cross this bridge when we get to it. And that helps? Does that help? Okay. Any other questions? Before I erase it, are there any other questions? Yes, there are questions.
Teacher,
Yeah.
could you please give me the example of this idiom on the right?
A sentence?
Yes.
Sure. Sure.
Okay.
I put this is a very simple example, because I would never just say this, we're working on problem 4 or problem 1. Well, I would say what the problem is. So let me read it to everybody. So John asked me, how are we going to solve problem number 4? We have problems 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. John asked me, how are we going to solve problem 4? However, we're still trying to solve problem 1. We're still working on problem 1, and he's asking me, how are we going to solve problem 4? So I told John, we'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. Once we finish problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, then we'll get to problem 4. Does that make sense? Okay. It's a riveting story.
She wants to learn, but teacher, I am only teacher. Teacher is for I. Teacher, okay.
Oh, Popeye.
I love Popeye.
You love Popeye? Oh, who's Popeye? Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Yeah, one, two, and three, 4, 3. Please write the examples.
For number 3? And 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah. Less.
Story is short. Don't talk too much. So talk too much.
Blessing in disguise. What did we use as an example? What were one of the examples that we used?
When talking, you don't talk so much.
What?
You don't talk so much. You make a long story.
No, wait. Blessing, I want to answer this question. Blessing in disguise, I'm going to use these as an example. So blessing in disguise, what I'm doing is going back and using these in sentences. So blessing in disguise, what were one of the examples that I used? Example situations, yeah.
When I was young, I work with the foreigner. I'm worried a lot. I'm afraid that the foreigner are very clever. But after 1 month, it's a blessing in disguise because everybody wanted me to the chief of the section.
Everybody wanted what?
Wanted me to the chief of the section. Wanted what? No, not want, voted.
Voted.
Yes,
Voted for.
the chief of the section.
Chief of the
Chief
section.
of the section.
Chief of the section.
Yes,
Okay, I'm sorry. So voted for you.
yes.
You as chief of this?
Yes.
Okay. So the way I would use that is, I'm going to make up my own sentence, but I'm going to use your example. So, I spent long